Hey everyone, I need your attention for 1 minute. This is not one of those ads. This is something that has changed my entire life. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that this is all about personal development as the foundation for everything good in your life. And this podcast is now sponsored by Growth Day, which is the world's first all-in-one personal development app. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having everything all in one place that you need to create the life that you want? Now you can. So if you've been struggling with your motivation, your mood, your productivity, or your purpose, you have to check this out. Growth Day helps you consciously change your life and achieve your potential. It has all the self-improvement tools, motivational classes, and life coaching all in one place. So many of us want to improve our lives, but the question is how? Where do we start? What do we use? How do you get unstuck? How do you make self-improvement stick? Well, research shows how. It's when you consistently journal, track your habits, set goals, learn from empowering mentors, and challenge yourself that you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. But let me ask you something. Where do you actually do all of your personal development work? I have to tell you that over 300,000 people use Growth Day for a reason. It works. It's the world's #1 software for self-improvement. Growth Day has an amazing mindset journal that I absolutely love, a habit tracker, and a goal-setting system. In fact, I bet if you went to my stories this week, you probably saw me using the journaling app and telling you to do it too, because it's the first time that journaling has ever actually stuck consistently in my life because of this app. And best of all, Growth Day has live inspirational classes every single week from the world's top motivational speakers and life coaches. These are people who have impacted my life in huge ways. These are mentors who I already knew and loved. In fact, this is something that's so huge for me, you guys. I personally teach a class in Growth Day every single month, and it is one of the most fun things that I get to do, and I'd love to see you there. These classes will truly shift your life. There's always something new that you will learn. So join me and 300,000 achievers growing our lives with actual real intention. Visit growthday.com/Lori for a free trial. Yes, you can try this for free. So go to growthday.com/Lori and go live your best life. You guys, that's growthday.com/Lori. And I can't wait to see you there. Welcome to the Earn Your Happy podcast. I'm Lori Harder, founder of the Bliss Project, 3-time fitness world champion, fitness expert, and cover model turned self-love junkie, lifestyle entrepreneur, and author. Each week, I'll bring you a guest or a thought that will help you bust through your fears, connect to your soul, and get focused and clear so you can elevate your life, business, and relationships. We don't wait until we're ready for someone to tell us we're good enough. We take what we want and we anoint ourselves. Get ready to earn, own, and unapologetically rock your happiness every single day. Are you with me? Here we go. Welcome back to the Earn Your Happy podcast. And today I can't wait for you to meet Rita Catolino. She is a certified personal trainer, an online coach, a motivational speaker, fitness writer, cover model, and mother. Her passion for fitness and helping others can be attributed to having gone through many of her own struggles with weight her entire life. So after fighting a family trend of obesity, she decided to make a positive change after giving birth to her daughter in 2007. And those obstacles are turned into a positive philosophy that she shares with those who work with her. So most recently, Rita has found her way back to her roots and the kitchen and developed her own healthy cooking show called Your Beautyfuel with Rita Catolino. So her passion for helping others and remaining current in an ever-changing industry is what keeps Rita motivated. So you guys, Rita is not only an incredible inspiration, but she is a dear friend of mine. So with that, let's get started. Rita, I am so excited to have you on the show today.
Hey, Lori, I'm so excited to be here. Not only do I not only are you an inspiration and a friend now, but the podcasts have been inspiring as well. So it's a blessing to be here.
Thank you so much. And you know what? I want to tell you a little something about how beautiful the universe is I have probably, how long have I known you? I don't even know, 5-7 years known
Something
of
like
you.
that.
And I have just always admired you from afar. And literally just the last couple of years, I have been getting massive messages from like random people who are like, you would love Rita, or you're just like Rita, or you and Rita would get along. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. Like, I'm scared to meet her. And then finally we connect through the last thing that I thought we'd connect through, our network marketing company that we're both doing together on the same team now. And it literally, like, getting together with you felt like this long lost part of my soul was coming back into my life. And it's so refreshing. It's such a breath of fresh air. And that is such a sign for me to, when you're getting those signs from all over in your life, you should meet this person. You're like this person. Oh, you'd connect with this person. How about you go connect with them?
Exactly.
So listen in. So I'm really excited to chat about what we're going to talk about today. Rita and I probably spent 30 minutes talking before we decided to hit record, and we realized we should have hit record.
Exactly.
So her and I really resonate on so many different levels, but lately, because we like to talk about what's coming up for us right now, because it's real and it's raw and it's right now and we're experiencing it. And I know that you guys are too, if we are, is really feeling addicted to accomplishments and how we can be really, get really present and happy with, where we are right now, no matter what we're accomplishing. So I know that's been kind of a theme throughout your life. So can you tell me kind of maybe where that came from? Like the first time you realized what accomplishments were doing for your life, or where you were at before you accomplished anything and how that felt?
I mean, well, back to what you were saying. Thank you for that intro. And I feel exactly the same way. And the first time we broke bread, quote unquote, together was like, yeah, this girl is my tribe. Like, like likes to eat and likes to drink and likes to balance it out with, everything else that life is all about. And I don't know, I just feel like our journeys have somehow been a little bit parallel too, in terms of, the extremities of fitness, competing and then modeling and then going into more balance and finding your soul. And then, so it's just been really great watching you, because it does feel a bit like a mirror. Not quite, I'm not quite as my daughter says, you're not quite as beautiful as Lori.
Oh, please,
She's
sister.
obsessed. She's obsessed with you. But anyway, that's another podcast. Addicted. Yeah. I'm not a psychoanalyst, but I would like to say this comes from, a childhood of very strict Italian upbringing with very, very high standards from my father in particular, coming home with 90s and asking where the other 10% was. I've done a lot of soul searching in the last couple of years, and this is not to blame, this is not pointing fingers, it's just trying to figure out why I am who I am at 36 years old. And everything in our life, the people we meet, the relationships, the situations, our own innate nature, I think it all has to play with who we are now, who we are in each phase of our journey. And I do think that has a lot to do with that, those high standards that were placed upon myself and never feeling like I was enough. Mm-hmm. So, getting these accomplishments, starting out, what's the first one that kind of comes to my head? Maybe my first, in my new career, which is in the fitness world, I think my first call from Oxygen magazine, maybe to go for a shoot with them. I think that was my first, like, wow, big kind of accomplishment in terms of fitness. I thought, wow, I've made it. And I almost got that feeling of being high, right? Like high on endorphins. I got this rush that I can't explain. It was almost like, physically you felt it, like I could run around in circles and scream at the top of my lungs, and I was so excited, and nothing could faze me that day. My biggest enemy could come up to me and spit in my face and I still laugh. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like whatever. And I think so that happened, and then you know, I've never done cocaine. Like we can talk about anything on here, right? I've never done any, I've never done cocaine, but you know, when people say that first high and then people, whatever, they try to chase it and it's never the same as that first high. I always feel like then my next accomplishment, it never did feel like that first call from oxygen, I must say. No matter what I did, even their greater accomplishments, obviously, and I'm talking just purely fitness here, because obviously my biggest accomplishment in life and the best blessing is my daughter Ariana. So I don't want people to think, oh my God, you know, she's comparing a call with Oxygen Magazine to giving birth to her daughter. It's not that. I'm just referring right now to career-wise. And I think I always chase that feeling of like, oh my God, not sleeping and yelling at the top of my lungs. I just went on a tangent there. I don't even know if I answered your question.
Oh, that's what I love. Tangents are my favorite. Sometimes I'm like, where am I? And what were we talking about? But wasn't that story great? No, I love that because, you know, there's this quote that I like plays in my head all the time, and it's don't get too high on the highs or low on the lows. And it's not that you can't experience that high level of like, just like how you felt that first time with oxygen, because I do think that's a gift, but not viewing it as like everything, not thinking that this is everything right now. And then when you're low, it's like, this is so bad. This is everything right now. Understanding that it's not everything right now, that there's an in between. So for me, it's like, you know, a lot of different things have been coming up for me lately. Like I've just been noticing things like even, you know, a lot of people who are like, doing before and afters, or like on my challenge before and afters, and that word before and after, really feeling like, you know, people are just striving for this after, but what about the in between, the journey, the thriving during? So the thriving in the during. And that's really where I try to be every day is your everyday mundane is life. It is the good stuff. So how do we balance that though? Because people who are so accomplished, or who start realizing what accomplishment is getting, for me, Rita, it was like accomplishment was getting that attention that I felt like I never had from like 25 and down. And everything that I did was, you know, I just wanted love. I just wanted attention. I just wanted people to tell me I was good enough and worthy of Lord knows what. I just wanted a title. I just wanted, you name it. And whatever that thing was, it's like, if we don't fill it in for ourselves, we're going to constantly be striving for something we have no clue what it is. So was there something for you that it was like, what were you trying to fill? And I know that you know, maybe with Oxygen Magazine, you felt like maybe that partially filled it, but what happens after? Why do you hit that low?
Yeah. Everything you just said was me, right? Like 25 below. For me, it was 22 below. It was just always trying to be approved by everybody. You know, I always used to say that I'm a people pleaser, but I'm not a people pleaser. I was trying to be that person for everybody else. I always put other people first because I thought that was my answer, right? Like I thought by seeking everybody else's approval, no matter what the cost, would make me happy. When exactly it's the exact opposite, right? Because it is the daily grind, my daily life, as I always say, mastering the mundane, my Monday to Friday that nobody sees, that's not glossy, that doesn't look like the cover of a magazine, that's usually, you know, in sweats with no makeup and my Lululemons, and it looks like I'm all disheveled and I'm running around. And that's the part of your life that you need to make sure that you are happy with and that you are content with and that nobody sees. So it's not about appeasing anybody else but yourself. And, you know, I'm going through a transition right now, and I go through phases and I go through seasons. We were talking about this before of areas of my life where I feel if I could only know the recipe to right now, because right now everything is right. And, you know, everything is so imperfect and so right. Like the way I feel with my relationship with my husband, the way my daughter is thriving, the way I feel about myself physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the way I feel about the relationships in my life. It's like you're in the vortex, right? As Abraham Hicks calls it. I don't know if anybody's an Abraham Hicks fan out there, but like you're in that vortex. But what is the recipe to that vortex? And I have to realize that there isn't a recipe of ABC. Because that ABC changes each day, each month, each season, and each year. So what looked perfect for me, and I use that word, what looked ideal for me and what for me was in my vortex 2 years ago, March 2014, is not going to be the same as my vortex in May of 2016, because I'm different, because I've evolved, because the situations are different. So instead of finding that perfect recipe of ABC, those tangible, do this, do that, just accept and be present. And I think that's the biggest thing, is not, when you're always chasing the next accomplishment, you're never living in the present, because you're always searching for that next and that next. And it creates anxiety, because I do have some anxiety issues. And the only times that I can really stop and be present is when I let go of what's coming up. And I just say, Rita, show up today, the best version of you for yourself. And then everybody else around you is going to get the best gift of you. So it's not about showing up for everybody else. It's about showing up for yourself.
Oh man, you said
I went on a lot.
so many good things in there. Literally just, I took some notes on a few of them. And, I think the key word that you're saying, and something that people may not really understand how to do yet, but we'll chat on, is, being present in that moment, being present in that day, because it's when we live in the future of what is that accomplishment going to get us, and why are we actually striving for that accomplishment? So, behind everything that we want, there's a reason why we're going for it, is because it's going to make us, we think it's going to make us feel a certain way.
100%.
And what happens is that moment is fleeting, right? And a lot of times when you're there, if you're not present, it is going to pass you by.
And don't you think, Lori, sorry to interrupt you, that each time that moment seems quicker and quicker and quicker, like you can't hold on to them as long as you used to, because you're almost addicted to that accomplishment. You want the next one. So it's like, I don't know. It just seems like it's, that feeling is not, it's more shallow than we anticipated.
And I truly, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I know that if people are out there who are feeling that way right now, that they're waiting for something to be happy, or they're waiting for something to be good enough, or they're waiting for someone to say, okay, now I'm going to give you credibility because you did X, Y, and Z. And it's really about getting right with yourself right now, and just getting so present with the moment and realizing that's the journey. And I'll tell you one thing that has taught me so much about this. And I know it seems so crazy, but running has taught me so much about being present, because I was just doing a run on, I can't remember what day, I think it was Saturday. And I thought, wow, I love running now, but I used to freaking hate running. I mean, I was that girl who was like,
Me too.
Would be like, the only way I'm going to run is if you're chasing me or with a knife, otherwise you will not get me. Like, I used to be irritated by runners. I would be like, where are you running? Like, what are you doing? Go to the gym or do something that's actually going to help you. That's what I used to say. Well, now I love running because it's such, it's like a moving meditation for me, because when I was on my run, we were like 3 miles in, I had 3 miles right down. We were 3 miles down. I had to run 3 miles back. And I was like, crap, I have 3 miles left to go. And every step can either be excruciating, or you can get really present and enjoy everything that you're seeing along the way. So, a lot of times, when I was running, it was like, well, I have 1.5 miles left, or I have 3 miles left, or whatever. I would purposely run a route that I couldn't cut it short. And it taught me so much about being present, because it's like, wait, Life is right now. It's not the to-do list I have to do after I run, because this is supposed to be the good stuff. This is the stuff where I'm supposed to be in nature. This is the stuff where I'm supposed to look at the sky and thank God and look at the trees and feel the breeze and listen to this podcast or listen to this music and really listen to the words or feel every beat and have this like surreal, soulful moment, like so much beauty. And I was just passing that by thinking, I have to do this. I have to do that. I can't believe I have this to do. And I like, when I'm letting these moments that are so beautiful, just like I'm not even considering them. So it just taught me a lot about having to pay attention, having to focus. And I know that's what meditation does too. So what are some practices in your life that you've noticed have really made you go, whoa, it's not about everything later. It's about the right now. Like all that's happening, the now is just now. That's it. That's all we have.
Well, I have recently put some new practices in, but you were making me think about something that I really share with a lot of my clients, which is a lot of them try to one of the best practices for me is going to the gym and lifting weights. For me, that's your running. For me, it's lifting weights and throwing some weights around. And I used to think that as my ticket to thin. So the gym was my ticket to skinny. And somewhere along the line of my journey, it became my hour of power or my hour of whatever you want to call it. And that for me is a sacred hour of the day that, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter how many glasses of champagne I drank the night before, I do that hour at the gym. And that's for me. And that used to be, it was a fleeting way to get from point A to point B. And now it just is. It just is. It's part of my day. It's an enjoyable part of my day. It's not how many more reps do I have. It's shoot, I only have 15 more minutes left, to finish my workout. I want to do more, and I share that with a lot of my clients because for them it's in and out and it's cutting short and they're writing their grocery list while they're lifting their weights or whatever. It's like, no, enjoy that time, right? Because it's all about the enjoyment. There's some things that I've gone in and out of doing. I'm not going to lie. I'm not perfect, even though I am a recovering perfectionist. So I do come in and out of a lot of practices that I know help me. And I don't think it's self-sabotage. I think it's probably human nature and laziness that get me out of them again. But I do need to remind myself about getting back into them. So one is oil pulling, which I did for many reasons. So it's putting coconut oil in your mouth and swishing it around for 20 minutes. And I used to do this every morning because it refrained me from talking because I like to talk a lot. I think you and I share that. So I like to tell my household what to do in the morning and you do this and you do that and da-da-da. So it refrained me from doing that. It stopped me from drinking my coffee right away. So it gave me time and it's really hard to focus and write my clients' emails and write a blog when you're swishing your stuff around in your mouth without having it spit out all over you. So it forced me to kind of sit back, lie down and just and meditate or be present or be grateful and just stop and start my day very slowly without, we expect our bodies after being laying in this position for 8 to 10 hours or 6 or however long you sleep, to all of a sudden kind of jump out of bed with this pep in your step and like, Whereas when you look at like a yoga class and you're lying in Shavasana, it's like you start by wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, doing circles with your hands and your feet, lying in a fetal position. Obviously they have to do a little bit quicker because it's a class, but we don't give ourselves that time in the morning to do that. Right? We expect ourselves to go from 0 to hero within 30 seconds. And I think those practices of oil pulling or, tongue scraping, and these are all Ayurvedic, ancient old rituals that I started doing a few years ago and I forgot to do them again. So this is something now that I've re-entered in my life due to spring coming and due to a little bit of anxiety coming back in my life. As I told you, I'm leaving soon for 6 weeks vacation and I start getting anxiety, like I have to get through that to-do list, which I don't have to do, right, Lori? I don't have to because it's still going to be there tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I love that. You said so many things there. Like, I forgot to do those rituals that make me feel good. And I think that's what we do is we just forget um, about our purpose as human beings and what we're here to do and what we're here to experience and what we're here to enjoy. And I think keyword being enjoy, it's like all of a sudden we grow up and we start adulting so hard that we're like, we forget to enjoy life or slow down or say, hey, how do I want my life to look? Not how do I think it should look? Or am I going to function as the world is functioning? It's like you can actually function better creating your own idea of what you want your life to be like. And, I just want to go back to one point because I'm so in love with what you said about, making that 1 hour at the gym or that 1 hour of working out. Cause I feel that way about any time I get to move my body. It's like giving yourself that opportunity to set yourself up for success, because we know movement really does get us present and get us into our bodies. And because when we do wake up, we're not really in our bodies yet or connected or feel rooted. So I love the rituals that you gave as well. You guys definitely try those out. And that's what it's about, is just keep trying stuff on until you find what just makes you feel good. Because this is what we're after with all these accomplishments, right? It's like, okay, accomplish this, accomplish that. And Rita, you've accomplished more in the past 6 months, maybe a little bit more than most people do in their entire life, than 5 women do in their entire lifetime. So, and it's crazy that you say right now at this point, you're feeling anxiety coming in. You're not feeling quite as rooted after all those accomplishments. So that's why I wanted to get on, that's why we chose this topic today. Is it's like both of us were chatting and we feel like we came off big pushes in our lives. Like both of us have worked really, really hard, like probably overloaded our schedule and feeling a little bit depleted now because we forgot. We forgot that during the pushes and what we thought was going to make us feel really good, we forgot what actually made us feel really good. So now here we are, feeling a little bit empty, a little bit crazy, a little bit chaotic, and remembering, oh yeah, and sometimes, isn't this great? That's why you guys find your sisters. That's why you find your people. And right now, if you don't have some, you can borrow us. We're crazy though.
Just a little bit.
You have to come drink wine and have cheese with us. So, but to remind you, what makes you happy? So Rita, what makes you, what could you do today, or what are you going to do today? I know you said that you already did some stuff, but what are you going to go back to that's going to make you feel good now?
Well, it's funny, this weekend, I had this conversation with, and I just want to quickly, plug my husband here, because he is definitely the person who reminds me every day. I don't know if it's because he's from Spain and he's from Europe and he has a different mentality and he's 10 years my senior and he's an old soul. But he always reminds me that, I am enough, even if I just woke up every day and did nothing. I am enough as I am. And he reminds me of that on a daily. And God placed Dario in my life for so many reasons. And one of that is just to ground me and be my balance. And, he is a Libra. That's his sign. He's a Libra, and I'm huge into horoscope. And he is such my balance. And he reminds me of that all the time. And, he said to me, he's not even that religious. He said to me, what does God think of you? Would God ever make, and we've heard this before, does God make mistakes? No. No matter what I do, no matter if I decide to continue in the fitness industry, no matter if I decide to eat a box of cupcakes and lose my muscle definition or not, I am going to still be that same person. And Dario, my husband, met me, 30 pounds heavier, a totally different person. He's seen me through every stage of my life. We've been together 15 years, half my lifetime really. And he just sees that same spirit and soul. He sees my soul, right? And a lot of people see my soul, and I am the person who doesn't see my soul enough. So I need to, this weekend after having this conversation with him, we made a fort on the floor. This is just crazy. And we had some cupcakes and we had some wine actually. And I had Dario on my left hand, just kind of snuggling in, and my daughter Ariana on my right side. and we were watching the stupidest movie that she picked, Fantastic Four. Sorry, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. She wanted to watch it. And here we are. And it was just like this aha moment of like, I am where I am right now, where I need to be, with the people I need to be with everything, you know. And that for me was the best feeling, better than any magazine cover, better than any star or initial or zero beside my name. Like, it was just, you know, and this weekend really was one of those weekends of transition and just really being, you know, true to myself and what I need, and fulfilling each moment with what I need. When I talked before about that recipe to being in the vortex, I was in the vortex on Sunday. And that was because of all of those things. But what my vortex or what I need today might look different, right? Like, I don't want cupcakes today. I don't want to lie around on the ground. I don't necessarily need, you know, that hug today. So today I know I needed an extra workout. I needed a walk in nature. So I took a girlfriend and we went for a walk outside, and she made me laugh. And I needed that today, right? Talking with you is feeding my soul on a whole nother level that I know is going to feed me now for a while. And going to Spain every summer for 6 weeks recharges my batteries until about May. And every May I feel this. Every May I feel like my Energizer batteries need like to be plugged into the wall for a good 6 weeks. So I know that, and I recognize that. So I think the recognition of what I need when I need it, and answering that, not ignoring it, because I used to ignore it. Because I used to look at fueling and feeling and cupcakes and hugs and lying down as a weakness, because I can keep going. I can keep going. You know, I gave 19 hours of childbirth without an epidural. Of course I can get through this, right? Like, I always feel like I need to be that hero. I need to go through pain in order to be successful.
Wow. So putting it's like almost feeling, so I did this for a while in my career too. It was like, if I didn't feel pain or if it wasn't hard, it must not be working.
Yeah.
And now we kind of come from a different place, right? Like, whoa, if we're not following the ease and the flow and the fun and really listening in, then this must not be working. So it's just funny how it's like, I love everything you said, because you talked about, it's not that it's not going to happen, right? I guarantee in 6 months, we're both going to call each other and be like, girl, I need another phone call. maybe 3 months, maybe next week. But right. That's the thing, is that when you start to notice, and when you surround yourself with a tribe of people who also are self-aware, it's kind of like we all kind of help each other go, okay, you've been grinding pretty hard. Like, what is it that you need? Or what are you really after? Or what are we after together? Or, you know, how can we kind of just back down and enjoy the present? And it's conversations like this, you guys, that we're all having together, because we are truly all having this together, whoever's listening, to just ask yourself, what do you need right now? Like, what is that extreme end that maybe you're going to, because you're searching so hard or pushing so hard for something to happen. And even when it happens, I hate to tell you guys, but it's not going to change how you feel right this moment, because it's going to go right back to where it was the next day, a week later, maybe it's 2 weeks, maybe you get a good couple months off it. But the thing is like finding those things, like those moments of awareness, Rita, when you're like, I need to just lay and watch a movie, drink some wine, and have a cupcake, and let that be okay. How did you start letting that be okay? Because I know, as a recovering addiction junkie to accomplishments, I know that, like you said, it feels like a weakness at first. Like, how do we start letting that be okay?
I think my former life was that on steroids. So my former life was like cupcakes, chips, wine, laziness. So,
Me too.
yeah. So, right, on crack, on steroids. And that was okay with me. Like, that was okay with me. I had no guilt ever, because I didn't know any different. And the minute you start getting a little taste of a different lifestyle, maybe something that makes you feel better, maybe something that doesn't make you feel groggy when you wake up, maybe something that, gives you a sense of hope and drive and strive and passion, that's more than a bag of potato chips on the couch at night, then you start realizing that maybe that's not serving me anymore. But then we go and we throw it in a whole other room and we say bad and we put an X on it and we call it poison because we used it in extreme before, you and I. Many people, not just you and I, many people listening, we use things to the extreme. But there is still a place for all of those things because if they made us feel that good for that many years, they can't be that bad, right? So we can sprinkle them throughout our day and throughout our life with no sense of guilt. If we have a proper foundation and we strive and we thrive and we live on this beautiful lifestyle that we've created, there's nothing wrong with a few sprinklings here and there of that old former room that we've, locked away now with the guilt. Because when you let that guilt go, and I learned it personally, I had to go to Spain to learn it, because when I was in Spain, it really feeds my soul, and I let myself just be open to life, and whatever happens, happens. I threw the scale out in Spain. There was no scale. Like in North America, I was becoming addicted to the scale and quantifying everything in my life, numbers, food, likes on Facebook, the number on the scale, how much I weighed, all of those quantifying things. And when I go to Spain, I lose all of that. So there's no scale. There's no checking how many social media likes I have because I'm too busy living life. So there I was able to indulge more and let myself have a couple glasses of wine. So I slowly let myself do that throughout the years. But my recovery, my road to recovery back to a normal life, not an extreme life, a normal, balanced life, was little by little. So at first it would be like one glass of wine, and there would be a little bit of guilt. And I'd wake up the next day and say, wow, I'd look in the mirror. And I talk to myself a lot out loud, by the way, Lori. I have a lot of conversations with myself in the mirror. And I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd say, you look the same. You are acting the same. You feel the same. I remember even taking my shirt up and looking at my tummy and saying, you don't look any fatter. Like the alcohol didn't do anything to that glass of wine. And I thought, wow, I can do that again, right? Obviously you don't go from that to 20 bottles of wine a day, but, and then you let yourself maybe say, okay, maybe I can have this bowl of ice cream with my daughter. And you wake up the next day, say, not only do I look the same and feel the same, but I actually feel a little bit more free, right? I don't feel like I'm in shackles anymore. The shackles of a dieting world, the shackles of having to look or live a certain way, or live up to my fans and look this way or that way. And that's when I got rid of my hair extensions. That's when I got rid of all of these things that I felt were keeping me chained to a certain idealistic life. Does that make sense? That it was more living for others than for myself. And when I came back to the true Rita of I don't know what, of that true essence of what I am, everything just kind of came into place and the guilt went away with it.
I love that, just being in your presence. And I think also just having the background that you do, and also, traveling to Europe all the time, because it's a totally different life over there. And I think it's beautiful. I think I love the balance of both that you have, and spending time with you and Dario and your daughter. I think it's really, it's really beautiful. It makes me actually yearn for more, just because it reminds me to savor and collect experiences, because, with your husband, it's like, he's so present, at all times. He just is. He just is so present. That's the one thing when I'm with him, with you guys, is like, I just notice that he's really listening intently, and he really just wants you to experience, just to enjoy yourself, like to enjoy life right now. So it is all about just like, how much more can we amplify this experience that we're in right now? Like, can we drink a better wine, or can you really let that chocolate, like, you know what I mean? Can we really experience this together? And can we really laugh more? And it's just really beautiful. So, and I think a lot of that is not only cultural, but also just the person that he is. That's definitely just the person he is. So, collecting experiences. I love that because when things happen, like, yeah, you and I, we definitely enjoyed some wine and some chocolates and some things together, but you know what? We don't always get to be together. And those are things we really, really enjoyed and we savored. And I could have come home and felt really guilty because I did that for, I don't know what, 3-4 days.
3 days.
And instead I kept saying to myself, because sometimes we have to adopt mantras, right? Like how you talk to yourself in the mirror. I talk to myself out loud all of the time. And I kept saying the second I'd feel guilty about it, because I came home, you feel a little bloated from the plane and just from everything. And where normally I kind of like start picking myself apart or whatever. I was like, so worth it. I just kept saying, so worth it, so worth it. Because like nurturing those relationships in your life, I can't imagine dying without spending those times with you guys and spending those times with people and having those moments of like eating chocolate sausage logs. And if you guys don't, if that sounds crazy to you.
It's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Just to clarify, she makes some amazing chocolate that looks like a sausage log, and it's you gotta, maybe you need to stalk her
like
just for that.
salami, and it's just like chocolate and nuts. And
Chocolate
yummy.
salami. It is the best. So worth it. So worth it. And getting really, really present and remembering that. So, and like you said, you said something about, yesterday I needed to be on the floor and have a cupcake, and today I don't. Like, that's how I feel. Today I'm like, I'm great. I feel awesome. And some days I wake up and I'm like, no, you know what? I have a crazy day today, but I am so desperate for a nap, or I feel like I might die. And I'll look at my schedule now, and now I'm getting really aware of that, right? Like, is there something that can go? Is there something that I can give up so I can do a little bit of self-nurturing so that I'm not feeling crazy? So, it's getting more and more aware. So do you have like an awareness practice, or is it just like you're really starting to tune in because you're starting to tune in?
Yeah. I love what you said about, what do I need right now? And I think everybody can take that home with them. Like, what do I need right now? And I think I've grown to be so in tune with that. It's like, I'm almost too in tune with my body, like sometimes that can be a bad thing, because if any tiny little thing is off with my digestion or whatever, I'm like, I notice everything, a hair's out of place. So in that aspect, I am very in tune with myself. So I look at my schedule, and I can show you, but people can't see, but I'm like an old school. I have like an old school diary, like agenda. Yeah. And I like, because I'm obsessed with crossing things off my list, right? So you can't do that with a cell phone. I don't know if you can, but anyway, I like to like take a pen and like scratch it out. Anyway, I do overfulfill my days with lots of stuff. And it's funny because there's a difference between busy and productive. So I love to look at my day, and if my body is telling me nap, massage, coffee date, chocolate, whatever it's telling me, I tend to listen. I really do. And I look at that day and say, where can I make that happen today? What is non-negotiable in my day? So what is going to serve me or somebody else on a greater level? And what is something that can be pushed off till tomorrow, the next day? And I'm really good now at pushing things back. Whereas the former Rita, the perfectionist one, the one I was telling you that I'm in recovery, would say, no, it's on the list. It has to be done. It has to be done today and before 6:00. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm like, maybe I can move some things around. And I used to be that person if I didn't get to the gym before 9 a.m., it wasn't happening. So it could be a perfectly normal day at 12 p.m. and I am perfectly able-bodied and I have a free hour from 12 to 1, but I wouldn't go because it didn't fall within the Rita idea of going to the gym before 9. Now I go to yoga at 2:00 in the afternoon if it fits my schedule and there's a class available and I feel like that's what I need. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sick of living by all of these structured rules. So I am very more in tune with that spontaneous person that I am, that we all are, that we all can be, right? Right now, what do I want? Right now, I want to talk to Lori. And, right now when I get off, what do I want? And I do continually ask myself, what do I want? Not because I'm so used to saying, what does A, B, and C, what do all those people want from me? No, what does Rita Catolino want right now? And I'm going to share something really quick with you, but I am a huge planner, and Chris will know this because every time we have an event coming up, I say, well, where are we going for dinner on the Saturday night? And he's like, I don't know. The event's in like a week and a half. And I'm like, yeah, well, we need to know. Right? And he's like, oh, I'm going to call Francesca and I'm going to ask her the night before to book us a restaurant in Texas. Right. And I'm like, you don't know yet. Whereas like, I have to know everything like a month in advance. And it's bad because I don't let myself for a lot of spontaneity. And this past weekend, we went away to Toronto. So we live outside of Toronto. So it's a 2-hour drive. And we had a night out with some friends on the Friday night. And our plan was to come home Saturday and da-da-da-da. It was a beautiful sunny day. And we've had a lot of gray days here. So we're in Toronto. We're shopping and we're walking. And we're doing a lot of kind of feeding each other's souls, my husband and I. And we ended up on this patio of this old Italian house that's supposed to be like, anyway, we started having some drinks. And he's like, we should probably go home now. And I said, what if we stayed another night?
He was like, what?
He looked at me like, that's what I would usually say. Are you okay? Are you feeling sick? And I literally like got on Amazon. I booked another hotel. We got our stuff. We threw it there. We made reservations. We were wearing the same clothes because we didn't bring enough stuff. I didn't have enough. I didn't even have makeup remover. I didn't have enough vitamins. And I'm like, I count my vitamins every time I go out. And I'm like, let's just do it. Like, let's live by you know what I mean? I went out with the same clothes and we had the best night and and it's like, we drove home the next day, Sunday. We're like, this was the best decision we ever made. And it's in that spontaneity and in what are you feeling in this moment right now? Instead of what do people expect me to do? What does life want me to do right now? And I know we've kind of got off the topic of accomplishments, but it's about being present in the moment and not being so worried about what tomorrow brings and what the accomplishment of tomorrow brings and being prepared for that. It's just kind of living more in carpe diem, right?
I love it. I feel like it evolved into exactly where we needed it to go because it's what do I need right now instead of what do I think I need with those accomplishments. So it was such a natural flow into clearly what it's really all about. Because we're like, what do we need? Let's talk about what we need to talk about right now because this is feeling good. So Rita, oh my God, I want to talk about like 10 more things, but this is going to be, that's okay. You'll be one of my filler people that I'm like, I need another podcast. Rita, I need you. So we'll have you on again to chat about, I have no idea, something amazing and brilliant in the moment of exactly where we're at. But where can I want everyone to be able to get a little bit of your goodness because you have so much good stuff to offer. You're an amazing coach. You're just an amazing mentor and all around incredible woman with a great story. And I love watching you guys just live and savor life. So where can we follow you if we want to get more Rita?
Well, there is yourbeautyfuel.com, and you can subscribe to my bi-weekly newsletter, and that's more recipes. There's a blog about life, so that's more that side of Rita. And then there's ritacatolino.com, which is a little bit more of my fitness side and my programming and things like that. And then you can find me on Facebook at Your Beautyfuel with Rita Catolino, and on Instagram at Rita Catolino, and at Twitter at Rita Catolino. And just Google Rita Catolino and you'll find Rita Catolino.
I love it. And we'll put that in show notes too, so they can just link right up to you.
Awesome.
All right, Mama. Thank you so much for being on today. I always love chatting with you. I feel like so much better. You have no idea.
I feel like I'm talking to myself every time I'm with you. I just feel like, Vegas can't come soon enough.
I know. I can't wait. All right, you guys, if you loved this episode as much as I did, make sure that you share it with a friend. And until next time, go out and earn your happy. Bye, everyone. Thank you guys so much for spending this time with me on the Earn Your Happy podcast. I am so glad that you stopped by. If you could take 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would love it, that would be absolutely amazing, and we would be forever grateful. Also, please leave us a review if you feel so moved by going to iTunes and leaving us an honest thought, an honest comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to hear more of. It would really help us out on our journey to helping thousands and thousands of people. Until then, don't forget to earn your happy. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye. Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience. When you get community right, not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back, and I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group. Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule text to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true, deep sense of community. And it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com.
Want to know a huge secret to my success? Okay, not only my success, but just about every single person that I have interviewed on this podcast who is successful has this in common. You guys, they love to journal. They capture their life lessons and what they're grateful for. But a lot of people don't keep this up consistently. And most people do know that the research shows that journaling deepens your gratitude and increases self-awareness. But did you also know that journaling decreases stress and helps you achieve your goals faster? In fact, journaling is a huge differentiator between average performers at work and high-performing people. It leads to longer-term clarity, confidence, and success. So why don't more people journal? Why didn't I journal consistently? Honestly, they don't like staring at a blank page. It's hard to carry a book around with you or a notepad, and they just don't even know what to write about, or they just forget. That's why I know that you're going to love Growth Day. It's the world's #1 system for self-improvement, and it's like all-in-one personal development in an app. And it has an awesome digital journal, and people love it. Growth Day's digital journal has hundreds of research-backed writing prompts for self-reflection, positive mindset, confidence building, and success. I use them all the time, and it makes me think in ways that I typically don't, and it makes me ask myself better questions, which we all know gets better results in our life. It even has prompts that help you develop a daily, weekly, or monthly habit of reflecting on your life and identifying areas to grow. So it's a perfect time of year to start journaling, you guys. When you sign up at Growth Day, you also get systems for habit tracking, goal setting, and scoring, and improving every area of your life. Best of all, I get to teach there too, you guys. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to see you. I teach live in Growth Day every single month with a new topic just for you. So join me there. Start your free trial at growthday.com/Lori.